Greetings, folks. Nice to see you today. My name is Dustin Cormier, and welcome to Erotic Astrology. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about what it's like when a person has the Sun in Capricorn and Mars also in Capricorn. This is typically a sign reading, but I really need to include this idea of combustion in here. Namely, if the Sun is combust Mars by within at least 8 degrees of orb, then the Sun is really kind of agitating and lighting Mars on fire. And it deeply reduces Mars's capacity to do what Mars is doing by house lordship, as well as just by what Mars acts as in general. So that is an important thing to consider here. And it's kind of like a two-way reading in that case. I'm going to try to talk about the general, there's still a general character of this sign combination. And I'm going to try to reiterate at all times when the fact of the Sun possibly combusting Mars might agitate and damage the given reading, the given details. I digress. So Mars with Sun, both in the same sign in Capricorn, makes for a very earthy, driven, determined personality. Capricorn is not the Sun's favorite place, but it is Mars's favorite place. Both of these planets here have, in Shadbala, there's something called, it's like Ayana Bala, and it's the strength of being close to the summer solstice. Here, Sun and Mars are in the denser part of the zodiac, when the Earth is activating its red, lower, dense material chakras. Specifically when the Sun is in Capricorn. Mars being in Capricorn gives the same vibe. There's a density, a rigidness that is actually good for Mars. Both of these planets like being close to this. They gain Ayana Bala strength by being close to Mars because there's an energy and a vitality there. The Sun is served better being closer to Cancer, but not Mars. Mars actually enjoys being controlled and channeled by the influence of Capricorn and Saturn and this density happening. Now, the Sun doesn't exactly hate it. It's kind of better than being closer to Libra, mind you. But the Sun does become dense here. It's driven. It's responsible. It will take what is most logically and practically going to, for sure, be the conventional path to gaining the glory that they seek. They don't want to gamble with the possibility of greatness if there's a slim chance of it. The Sun in Capricorn will go by what is the greatest ratio of possibility to glory. Whatever's the safest ratio in that regard, which means that there's not a lot of Capricorns that will fail miserably, but there's also not a lot that will attain heights of glory comparable to other people who are living by their soul or by what kind of jives. Capricorn Sun is living less for its soul and more for attainment's sake, and that can be good for the soul. That's part of their soul. That is the expression of their soul. It's just that the Sun here is not aligned with the Sun doing what the Sun does best. It's not as energetic. It's not as hopeful. It's not as optimistic. And it's not bringing out the cream of the heights of human expression. It's more just soberly, quietly, calmly moving in the direction that it knows will bring it the glory that it wants. And that's good enough for Capricorn. Right? Now, Mars being in the same sign as the Sun actually helps to increase the Sun's capacity. No matter what, even if they're not combust, Mars is aiding the house that the Sun is in here. Mars is adding its fiery, inspired, moral, ethical, trying to do its best. It brings this out in the sun's consciousness. So there is, for a Capricorn, this is a Capricorn with a lot of pressure to do well. And this works especially best, again, if the sun is not combusting Mars. Because this is a sun which is enlivened by Mars to do its best, and the Mars is in a good place to do its best. This is a Mars which is determined and diligent, and of course the goal lines up. The goal of Capricorn Sun lines up with the method of Mars in Capricorn. And of course, Mars in Capricorn is the strongest and best place for Mars. So, this could, again, the agitation could damage the Mars, where it's a little bit too driven by inspiration to sculpt itself to some kind of discipline. It bites off more than it can chew, and the Mars becomes ruined. It's spoiled. The Mars can become spoiled if it's combust, because the sun, the inspiration, is telling Mars, you're not doing enough. They never feel like they're doing enough, and they always bite off more than they can chew. If you have this position where the sun is within 8 degrees of Mars in Capricorn, you have this Mars in Capricorn, which has a great ability to think logically and be diligent. Astrology can really help you here, because if you understand logically that your sun is causing you to erupt with too much angst to do things, you might be able to take a step back from your ambition and say, it's good that I'm ambitious, but if my overactive ambition is going to cripple my slow, diligent strategy for attaining my greatness, then I should calm down my sun's ambition a little bit. So it's going to be a fight, really, between your sun's inspiration to go for its heights, and you'll be embarrassed to look down at yourself and say, what is it about me? Oh, is it my parents? Why can't I attain these heights? And you'll grind your stomach to pieces. That's the sun kind of agitating Mars. It's the fiery, malefic nature of the sun grinding out Mars's ability to be energized and to look hopefully towards what it wants to do. If these two are in the same sign and the sun is not combust the Mars, the inspiration will happen at a distance and at a place that pulls the Mars in and can still be critical. You can still be criticizing to yourself and push yourself to do what you want to do, but it'll be in a strategized, not reactive, well planned out way. That's if Mars is not combust by the sun, in which case this can make a good thing, because the sun wants to attain heights through the sun in Capricorn, through diligent struggle and effort. And the Mars here has the strength, the diligence, the discipline, the reining in to move forward towards the most constructive use of your energy, of your ambitious energy. The sun and the Mars together ramp each other up in this way. Now, the last thing I'll say is that the position of Saturn will greatly influence the power of this person to attain the greatness that they want, the power of this person to conscript themselves to a logical and carefully strategized plan to attain the heights of what you want to attain. If Saturn is well placed, then the Mars and Sun here have an easy time gripping the goal that the Sun so deeply wants to hack at through Capricorn and through Saturn, right? If the Saturn is closer to Libra, it can use the strength of others, the discipline, and the world around them to make their lives easier, so it's not all just them trying to do it. Whereas if Saturn is closer to Aries, they will put it upon themselves to do this, and they can really burn themselves out in a heavy way. If your Sun is closer to Aries, if your Saturn is closer to Aries, if it's in Pisces, if it's in even Taurus can be a good place for Saturn, but Aries and Pisces are like the worst places for Saturn. If Saturn is being, aspected by the Sun and Mars in an ill way, then this will deeply destroy the Saturn's ability to rein in and calm down and to be okay with some slot in life that's good enough, right? If the Saturn is good, the person will be able to do that, and then the Sun and Mars will find expression through Capricorn. So it's important for you to consider all things Saturn. Start, take upon yourself the consciousness of what Saturn means. If you've got an ill-placed Saturn, this would be a good remedy for your whole chart, because this is where your Sun and your Mars are. And this, for you, as a Sun and Mars and Capricorn person, Saturn is holding a huge part of your ability to get what you want in life. So learn about Saturn, learn about what it means, start putting yourself into routines, get into yoga, do something where you can diligently channel your energy into some simple little thing that's not for you, that's for others. Remember, Saturn is exalted in Libra. So give yourself to others, little routine responsibilities in your community, in your job, little things that you can do to conscript yourself to others so that you can find a glory for this Sun and Mars through the help of others. So you don't just criticize yourself into a million pieces and have a hard life because you're trying so hard to have this ambition and you're doing it all yourself. Saturn does best when it involves itself in communities and with others. So keep all this in mind. With that being said, usually I always give a very technical vision of these signs, and then I like to follow it with a little bit more of a juicy interpersonal experience of what the Sun and Mars combination is. Now for the Sun and Mars in Capricorn, again, we do have an interestingly, this is like a dry personality. It's a dry type of forward-seeking person. It's an attractive one. Both of these outgoing planets are in yin, earthy, come hither signs. So there's a magnetism in this person that can be very strong. And it's honestly usually driven by a desire to climb to heights. The Sun in Capricorn with Mars in Capricorn, the Sun is inspired and the Mars wants to use the method of finding partners, finding people, finding situations which are kind of like respectable, almost as if they're more respectable than them themselves. It's an ironic place to be because the Sun and Mars in Capricorn wants to show that they have the brute mammal biology, the strength, the willpower, the discipline to get you a real good one, to make you bring it up and have a deep and come and have a deep, delicious sexual experience with me, the Sun and Mars and Capricorn person. They want to have a biological, like, you can't help but just be attracted to the raw power that I have. But yet, the Sun and Mars and Capricorn person also wants to respect who they're dealing with. So on the one hand, they want to be on top, but on the other hand, socially, monetarily, they want the other person to kind of have a leg up, to make their lives, to show a social prestige and status that the Capricorn can respect. If Capricorn sees that the other person not only displays this class and a desire to get to that class, but also a toughness in the other person. There needs to be a resolve. There needs to be a willingness in the other person to have a strong Saturn and to diligently promise the Capricorn person that us two together can be a power couple that moves in our own paces towards the greatness that we both seek. This is something that this Sun and Mars and Capricorn person, it's the kind of person they're going to try to find. Someone who can hold that ambition energy, stabilize it, help you to stabilize it so that the two of you can go to greatness which extends beyond the relationship. Because Capricorn is this double emphasis of Capricorn means this outgoing Sun and Mars energy wants to use the situation, use the relationship, use the things in my life for the attainment, for the purpose, for an objective, for something that's greater than the couple itself. Which means that the partner might need a lot of sacrifice, especially if the Mars is agitated here. Then it's just like Mars, usually we feel logically in our relationship strategy through Mars. The logic, even the subconscious, the subliminal animal magnetism impulse energy. And if Mars is agitated for this person, they'll put a lot of pressure on their partner for us too to discipline ourselves to get where we need to go to these heights. So, we can't have sex tonight, baby, because I got to wake up in the morning, and I hope that you better have breakfast ready for both of us, and, you better be ready in your job at 7 in the morning. I'm going to wake up at 6:30, set my alarm so we can both get there, and so I'll see you tomorrow. And then they go to sleep, and then the lover's just like, okay, I guess this is my life. This is the kind of thing that can happen if Mars is agitated. The Mars is it loses its strategizing and calm, rational reason. It gets too excited, and it puts pressure on the partner and everyone on their life to get to this attainment, right? So just, again, keep that in mind. Otherwise, this pressure to attain will be there. For you who have a Mars and Sun in Capricorn, you are going to kind of pull your partner along out of the comfort of the domestic sphere, pull them along and pull them with you facing towards some kind of greatness. And you would do well with a partner who allows you to do that, who doesn't judge you for that, who appreciates you for that, and even supports you and helps you, and also has the ability, is also climbing up there with you. But, whether you're a woman or a man, you might also do well with a partner who has a bit of Taurus, a bit of Virgo, a bit of like, come down from that mountain, honey. It's okay, baby. We're going to get there. We're going to make where we got to go. But tonight, I just want to light a candle with you in the tub and just like, let go, baby. You need somebody who can kind of tell you that, especially if the Mars is agitated. And if the Mars is agitated, then you should probably listen when your partner tells you these things, but also it's an annoying thing, because if they tell you this so much that you actually give up your Mars, that's the thing you're supposed to be using to attain the heights. So it's an annoying two-way thing that you got to do when this Mars is agitated. You got to listen to your lover who says come down to earth and be more domestic, but you also have to deny them sometimes and say, I've actually got to keep climbing despite how comfortable we want to feel. It's the weird pressure. This is the pressure of Mars. Mars, when it's got that pressure on it, it's just all much easier. And if your Mars isn't agitated, you'll know what I mean. There's a pressure. You pressure the couple to go where you got to go, but it's not too heavy for either of you. And it's true because Mars is in Capricorn here. So the Mars it does have the capacity, no matter what, it's exalted, and it does have the capacity to think objectively about the relationship animal energies that you both employ to get where you want to go. And it's realistic about it. And when your partner says, darling, I'm getting depressed and you're pushing me too hard and I don't want to work so hard anymore, the Mars in Capricorn will have the discipline to listen, to detach from your own ambition and say, sorry, darling, thank you for communicating. I'm sorry. I know I push us a lot, but now that you've communicated, let's work towards the ideal thing here. And Capricorn will communicate like that. Capricorn considers its current relationship important and special. Now, I've just talked a lot about the nature of this combination. Usually I talk a little bit about the Sun, like I would talk about the Sun in Capricorn before moving on to this next part of the reading. But I'm going to jump right into this. What we're about to read is the Sun in Capricorn with Mars in Capricorn in a combined reading coming from Erotic Astrology, Your Sex Secrets Revealed by Phyllis Vega. This is going to fill us in on how this dynamic works. What is it that Mars in Capricorn adds to the erotic psychochemistry of the Sun in Capricorn? This is a combined reading. This is Sun in Capricorn and Mars in Capricorn. While you are seemingly fearless in your professional dealings, you might often feel shy and insecure where your love life is concerned. Sort of like the Mars in Capricorn has the drivenness, the discipline, the easy knowledge of people. They've been disciplining their own impulses and animal impulses for so long, while also engaging in sex, doing it, seeing how it's supposed to go, and not taking it personally. This is how Mars and Capricorn operates. So when they get to the business world, they can deal with the boss, and it's just like dealing with the lover. You've got power, but I've got power too. So what's up? How do we deal with this interchange? And the boss can always feel, oh, good, you're confident. That's not a bad thing. Mars and Capricorn has that ability. It's the Sun in Capricorn here that's kind of aloof on its feet when regards to like, what am I as a totality outside of my business sphere? I don't know. What kind of lover should I have? How do I find the best lover? Capricorn is very driven by Saturn, and it's, they can be kind of aloof and not sure when it comes to like romance. And the fact that Sun and Mars is both being sucked into this Capricorn vibe, this is part of the reason for this insecurity, this shyness and insecurity where your love life is concerned. But even so, you are still a lusty creature with a deep need to love and be loved, although you'd rather die than admit it. Emotionally, you're reserved, but you are desirous and responsive in the bedroom. Highly sexed and swiftly aroused, your approach to lovemaking, while refined, is no nonsense and direct. However, what you lack in the romance department, you more than make up for in skill and in sexual prowess. This is the Saturn, again, drawing out a bit of the nature, the responsiveness of Saturn, because it's so driven by air, driven by dryness, driven by mental rational reason of where it needs to go, that you need a lover can easily come to you. I mean, it depends on Venus and the moon to show what making love and what romance really mean and how important they are to you. Mars and Sun just show how you go about the masculine side of approaching, attacking, getting what you want, and dealing with love from, again, that logos, that approach side. But, whether love will be deeply important to you, whether romance will, whether you'll have a juiciness beneath this reserve that you project, depends on your Venus and Mars. And while you might have a reserve, you might have a quiet, strategic countenance and a listening nature when it comes to like talking to people, where how you deal consciously with communicating is by listening with this quiet Capricorn, just sort of like the reserve. That might all be there, but it's up to your Venus and your moon to show whether there will be a dryness where you actually lack something in the romance department, right? But I think what this book's trying to tell us is that no matter what, whether you do have that dryness or whether you are, internally more willing to be romantic and sentimental, no matter what, there will always be in your application of your energy, your directness, a sort of a skill, a discipline, a desire to attain the technical greatness of lovemaking and of being a good lover, of showing magnetism and erotic come hither magnetism, and sexuality for its own sake. You'll always bring that. And that is never a bad skill to have in the department of lovemaking. Again, it's the Mars being agitated could show a bit more too much excitement when it comes to being in bed, too much desire to have passion and just bring it to a top, and then like sexuality can really be hard to wrangle when Mars is agitated. But in any case, there will always be a strength, a discipline, a reservedness that really caters well to the nature of lovemaking and turns Mars' outgoing energy into a skilled lover, as we talked about in our Mars and Capricorn video. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope that was juicy and erotic and sexy in all the ways it needed to be. I'm Dustin Cormier for How to Rock Astrology. Keep your eyes peeled, folks, because I always got more stuff like this coming along. I love doing these things with you and for you, and I'll see you guys on the Flibbity Jibbity. If you guys enjoyed this, feel free to like, leave a comment, ask a question. And like I said, if you did dig this video, feel free to subscribe, because I've always got more stuff coming out related to astrology, Vedic astrology, how it relates to the West. There's lots more to be interested in, folks. So thanks again for watching. See you soon.